Black Lives Matters turns 10, and KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to be the exclusive media partner of the People's Justice Festival. This Saturday, July 15th, 12 to 6 p.m. in Leimert Park. Come join us as we celebrate the life-saving and history-making work of Black Lives Matter to help bend the arc of the moral universe toward justice. There will be live music performances, a children's village, giveaways, vendors, a healing justice space, Skillshare, and amazing speakers including Green Party presidential candidate Dr. Cornel West live on stage at 4:30 p.m. For more information, go to blmgrassroots.org. That's www.blmgrassroots.org. Dominique Dupree and Tavis Smiley will be main stage hosts throughout the day, and the KBLA Talk 1580 delegation will be out in full force. So, join us this Saturday, July 15th, 12 to 6 p.m. at Leimert Park as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of Black Lives Matter. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I done plant my seeds, now I'm rooted. Brown skin popping, I'm rooted. He pull the hood out me, I'm rooted. Rooted, nappy head, rooted.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
What's the difference between codependency and victim mindset? The things that they have in common are that they're both personality styles, that's kind of the way you develop your sense of who you are, how you function in relationships, and how you function in the world. The differences are big though. Codependency, the real definition is of a lack of a relationship with your own self. In codependency, you have no me. You are all about rescuing and fixing and protecting and enabling and pleasing someone else. You don't have boundaries. You are a people pleaser. You can't identify what you need or what you want. There's no me. There's no me in codependency, all right? You're selfless, not in a biblical way. You're selfless in that you haven't developed a sense of yourself, your own worth, your own value, your own mind, your own needs, your own wants, your own boundaries, and so you are dependent on someone else to give you your sense of meaning. And we usually do that if you're codependent as a lifestyle through fixing, rescuing, enabling, people-pleasing, taking care of, right? Victim mindset isn't know me. Victim mindset is poor me. Poor me. Poor me. This happened to me, all right? I can't do it. It's too hard. I'm helpless. I'm powerless. I don't take any ownership over what happened to me.
Stop.
It's just
Stop
poor
it, brother. I deserve better. Ooh, I deserve. This shouldn't have happened. Hey, keep playing it. I'm sorry.
So where a codependent is overly responsible for everybody's happiness, it's all my fault. Right? It's all my fault that you're unhappy. I have to fix you. It's all my fault that you feel the way you do. I'm so sorry. What can I do to make it better? That's the codependence mindset. The victim mindset is it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It just happened to me, right? So it's a very different mindset where you're always taking responsibility or avoiding responsibility. The codependent overly takes responsibility, and the person who's the victim mindset doesn't take enough responsibility. There are people who are victimized by others.
Woo! Tonight's topic is on fire. The victimhood mindset. Now, what I want you to do is a thought experiment. I want you to envision a new idiom. I want you to take the V off of the word victim and replace it with a D. D as in David. Right? That's tonight's topic. When you come up with that idiom, take the V off of victim and replace it with a D. When you act like then act like a victim about it. Ooh, in other words, you act like the villain, then turn around and act like you're the victim in the villainous thing that happened to you. Oh my God, this is deep. I didn't know we were going to cook like this. So, victimhood and being a villain and a victim at the same time. This is very interesting. In intimate relationships, many people often play the role of coquette, consciously or unconsciously, to varying degrees. The term coquette refers to someone who flirts or behaves in a teasing, seductive manner to gain attention or maintain power dynamics within a relationship. Breadcrumbing. I need you for a certain thing. You may be in a supportive role in their life in some kind of way, emotional support, psychological support, intellectual support, physical support, whatever. I need you for something. And I'm just going to lay it down this Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb line just to keep you biting and eating a little mouthful at a time, just so you'll think I'm interested. And the moment you get your feelings wrapped, they pull back into coldness. That's the coquette, right? Imagine somebody who uses coquette tactics merged with the villain victimhood mindset as a means to control their partner. What kind of person is that, doctor?
We're still talking about the same kind of person. Everyone develops a veneer when they're teenagers, about 12 years old. People develop veneers to cover up their fear-based selves. So I don't believe I'm good enough. It's something that's developed in every human being. It's an inferiority complex that's built. So people develop a veneer, and oftentimes veneer is seductive. I get what I want. I seduce my friends with money, with candy. I seduce with sexuality. I seduce with humor. Kindness. Nurturing. I seduce to get control. Remember, that's what we're talking about. So we're thinking that the coquette is like, oh no, now I'm going to get him. It's less that. It's more like, uh-oh, it's real. And I don't know how to do real. So when I don't know how to do real, I withdraw. Ooh. Because I don't have the skill set to be vulnerable. I don't have the skill set to be for present. Intimacy. I don't have the skill set for mindfulness. Right. I don't have a knowledge of myself. Ooh. I'm this thing I created. So that is what we're talking about. Listen, the villain victim mindset, when they think that the other person doesn't peep game, but game peeps game. We talked about codependency, but some people like it like that too, because that's what they know. They love being a slave to drama and trying to fix and manipulate you back to what they think you should be. So this is a double game. It takes two to do this. The people pleaser, the oppressor, and the oppressed.
Come on. And sometimes the coquette approach, as the definition explained, it could be conscious or unconscious.
Yes.
And sometimes people really don't know that they are behaving and performing like a coquette, somebody who is breadcrumbing you emotionally, breadcrumbing you with promises, breadcrumbing you and then withdrawing when it gets real. More aspects of the coquette. They really want to maintain their independence. Yeah, I want you here, but I don't want you here, right?
But why don't I want you here? That's what's underneath it.
Closeness is tantamount to realness.
Exposure.
Come on.
You're going to really see what my baseboards look like. You know what I mean? You're gonna find out what the clutter is in my life if I let you get close.
The coquette sends mixed signals. Right?
Well, when I clean it up, I let you come see it, and then I can't let you see it no more because I don't keep it clean.
Ooh, one of the greatest mixed signals of all time. I used to hear it when I was in high school. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Ooh, love is a high level of consciousness. Do you understand? If you love somebody, and that's it. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Oh, you can love somebody and not be in love. Well, let me tell you something. Love is the highest level of consciousness. It is in alignment with God. If you tell me you can love somebody and not be in love with them, let's say your parents. Where's that forgiveness letter for your daddy or for your mama?
They can't be humans.
Or for your grandmama.
They can't be humans.
Oh, the parental core can't be humans either.
No, everybody. No. You're a mama. You should know. You a daddy. You should. My mama should. My daddy should. My man should. My woman should. These aren't humans. These are objectified creatures.
Ooh. Shoulds produce unrealistic expectations, and when they are not met, we have a justification for demonization.
We think we know what everybody should be doing, should be saying. That's why we're always offended. That's why we struggle with love.
Ooh.
It's either love or fear, and many of these relationships are not love relationships. I'm in fear with you.
Ooh, ouch, ouch. I'm in fear with you. All you got to do is keep doing what I need you to do, and we'll keep that fear at the front gate. The fear stay out the front. Don't let fear in this house. Oh, Lord have mercy. These coquettes out here seeking validation and attention. And the only kind of attention they really want is the attention that approves of the way they are.
Yes. Well, I see player/pawn here. The pawn is not weak. Please.
No.
No, the pawn is not weak. The pawn gets their needs met as well because they are a victim of not feeling good enough.
Listen, when we come forward, you think she finished? You think she finished cooking? I don't think she's finished cooking. When we come forward, we got callers from all over the country. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm James Alexander, a proud member of AARP. 1967, I was 17. That spring, my friends, the Barcades, and I made Soulfinger. It was a hit. Number 3 on the charts. That summer, we became the great Otis Redding's band. First gig, the famed Apollo. That fall, we toured. That winter found me in a morgue identifying the bodies of my bandmates and Otis Redding. My music and their memories bring me joy. The Barcades forever.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black Joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/Black community.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's a little black spot on the sun today. It's the same old thing as yesterday. There's a black hat caught in a high tree top. There's a flagpole rack and the wind won't stop. I have stood here before inside the pouring rain, with the world turning circles running round my brain. I guess I'm always hoping that you'll end this way, but it's my destiny to be the king of rain. There's a little black spot on the sun today. It's my soul of pain. It's the same old thing as yesterday. It's my soul of pain. There's a black hat caught in a high tree top. It's my soul of pain. There's a flagpole rag and the wind won't stop. It's my soul of pain. I stood here before inside the pouring rain, with the world turning circles running round.
How does one own what happened to them in life?
Well, first of all, if you have been the victim of a crime, abuse, any kind of bias or discrimination, that is real. You did not deserve it. If you had really horrible circumstances that you were born into that created a lot of trauma for you, you did not deserve that. And so I need you to hear very loud and clear that you're not responsible for the things that happened to you, but you have a responsibility to heal yourself. And so your responsibility and ownership comes in how you respond and how you heal to the things that you have faced in your life. And when you realize that you are fully responsible and you fully own your own healing, that's where the power comes. Because you get out of the mode of blaming your life circumstances on what happened, and you get out of the mode of feeling victimized, even though you may have been a victim, and you get into the mode of taking control of what you do next. I believe that you have limitless possibility.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's topic, the victimhood mindset. Very powerful stuff. It's not your fault. Mary and Ronald Hulnick over here at the University of Santa Monica, in their book Loyalty to Your Soul, says it is not the issue that is your issue. It is how you respond to the issue that is your issue. Very heavy stuff tonight. Listen, you're going to have to make space for a human being at some point. And I'm going to tell you right now, Did you not know that being accountable for the mess you co-created is essential to healing? Many people think healing is somewhere relaxing, unbothered, in solitude, quiet. No, you got to be responsible for how you showed up. And this is how you change. This is how you evolve. This is how you can take a negative situation and say, wait a minute, this is how I participated. This is how I marginalized and minimized myself. This is how I didn't stand up. I was too busy asking somebody to stand for me when I wasn't ready to stand up for myself. These are opportunities that the humanity in relationship provides us. Now, I'm not saying be with an abuser. I'm not saying be with a chronic liar.
No.
I'm not saying be with a chronic user and manipulator. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, as long as you're with the chronic manipulator and user within your own spirit, you're going to be Motel 6 for those types of people. Dr. Delana, get in here.
What we're talking about is a lack of skill. So I can't admit these things that you mentioned earlier because I don't have the ability to look at myself. I can't even tolerate the conversation where you tell me you don't acknowledge my feelings. I can't tolerate that in my body because what happens is the trauma creates a fight or flight, a sensitivity. The nervous system has been impacted a very long time ago. And every time I feel that feeling in my stomach, I act out. I act out big or I act out small. I shut down, whatever the case may be, and then the conversation is over. So what happens is the healing occurs when someone can learn how to tolerate that feeling long enough to accept the truth about themselves and then be able to confess it. You have to confess it, but you have to first be able to hear it.
My. Yes.
And growing up, we are not given the ability to give language to feelings. We're not allowed to do it. Where in your mama's house could you say, Mom, I'm so disappointed with that?
Come on.
Where in your life growing up with your family system were you able to give language to what you thought and felt and that it mattered?
Yes.
Where? What day? What holiday was it that you could complain about the lima beans? What holiday was it where you said, look, I'm tired of going to church on Sunday? When could you ever confess what was happening in you and the messages you don't matter? So children that did not get their emotional needs met become adults that did not get their emotional needs met, and they lack a skill set in adult romantic relationships, period. So they develop these veneers to hide behind, to cope, hoping that sex is good enough to keep you for a lifetime.
Get ready. Listen, if you can't confess to those who nurtured and wounded you, if you can't confess to them, you can't confess to him.
Be careful.
You can't confess to him or her. Oh, Lord, we on fire tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Delana Zimmerman, author of Do These Wings Make Me Look Fat? She is an LMFT. Do These Wings Make Me Look Fat? An unapologetic approach to spirituality and positive mental health. Man, we are on complete fire tonight. If this hasn't changed your life, I don't know what will. Attila from Houston, Texas. Get in here.
What's going on, Uncle Joe? How are you?
Oh, we just in here cooking. You already know what we doing.
Hi, Doctor. How are you?
Fantastic.
All right.
Thanks for calling in.
Yes. So I'd like to talk about your shirt because I love that. Self-doubt, selfish, self-love. Like, low-key, I feel like that's almost like the process towards getting through self-love, at least for me, what I've been experiencing, right? Like, I feel like I started in a place where, there's a lot of insecurity, a lot of doubt, and then move to a place where I feel like I'm trying to protect myself. So then you become hardened and selfish. And I'm trying to transition out of that into like true vulnerability and self-love. But I guess I have a question for you in regards to like the mother wound, right? Which I have. So how would you recommend navigating an authentic relationship with a mom who maybe has some narcissistic tendencies or traits?
Thank you. I don't believe that you can have an authentic relationship with that person, even though that person is your mother. What you have to do is have a boundaried relationship with that mother and appropriate, what do you want to say, like manage your expectations with that person. Just because the person is our mother doesn't mean that they aren't a human being. And so it's best to not objectify mom and just, you know, if her name is Joan, that's Joan. And part of Joan's story is she gave birth to you. And so the way that she is, you have to be in a relationship with her the way that she is.
You mean accept her for who she is?
100%. If you know she's going to throw spikes at you,
that's just who she is.
That's who she is. That's what she does.
And if you can't accept mama, you can't accept him or her.
And assess and accept. It doesn't mean stand in front of abuse. It means have an appropriate boundary for people that are abusive, even when they're your mother.
Yes.
Because she can only be Joan.
Joan. She can only be Joan.
Right. And the love she has for you doesn't change her. I mean, you know, the love I have for anyone doesn't change them. They can't change for their love for me. They can change through their experiences, through their awareness, through their awakening, through their own healing. Even your mother.
Attila, Houston, Texas. You brought fire tonight. Thank you so much. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know what you got to do. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. This is very deep. This is very deep. Listen. Love. It exists in all of us. It's a high level of consciousness. But you got to allow it to destroy you. I know people don't want to hear that. This is why you don't think it's real. Because the moment some of it starts to seep through all of the mess that your soul is covered in, all of the stuff the moment it starts to seep through, your norm starts to evaporate. You go, no, this is who I am. This is what made me. All that I am is what made me. You don't want to get rid of that, right? So you start to suppress love. I'm going to tell you right now, many of you have never loved anybody. You've only been attached to what you know, right? And your definitions of it. I'm going to tell you, this is what Rumi meant when he says, the wound is where the light enters. Love is the light. Let it destroy the wound by healing it. But you got to feel it. You got to go through the process. If you are not in clear and present danger, I'm saying if your person is not an intimate terrorist and y'all go through something that shatters your image of him or her, allow that process to happen without judgment. And see how much you grow. When we come forward, all phone calls.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is visiting Finland after wrapping up a key NATO summit in Lithuania. Biden will hold a bilateral meeting with the president of Finland in Helsinki on Thursday. Finland officially became the 31st member of NATO in April, marking a major shift in the security landscape in northeastern Europe. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin will soon be returning to Cincinnati, Ohio, bringing training that aims to save sports players' lives. Back in January, Hamlin collapsed during a Monday Night Football game against the Bengals after after he suffered a cardiac event. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is up to $750 million. Nobody has won the Powerball's top prize in nearly 3 months. The jackpot has a cash option of $378.8 million. Meanwhile, the Mega Millions jackpot is up to $560 million after there wasn't a winner in last night's drawing. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The accident guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
2 years ago, on Juneteenth 2021, KBLA Talk 1580 launched with a promise to give disenfranchised fellow citizens a voice in current political, economic, social, and cultural issues with an empowering, sustainable, and restorative language.
Everybody's got a little light under the sun, under the sun, under the sun.
As we enter our 3rd year, we are delighted that KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerges as the talk station of choice for African American listeners. In a vigorous public opinion research study, the 2023 African American Media Issue Survey finds that for the 2nd consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 remains the most trusted, credible, and reliable media source in Southern California for African Americans and beyond. Furthermore, 80% of those surveyed agree that outlets like KBLA Talk 1580 provide honest and authentic content about the issues most important to the Black community directly from Black journalists who understand the issues that need to be addressed. At KBLA Talk 1580, we remain committed to curating conversations that matter to you. Thank you for your continued support. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. The station that sounds like the city looks.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? You might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, nonprofit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
He deals the cards as a meditation, and those he plays never suspect. He doesn't play for the money he wins, he doesn't play for respect. He deals the cards to find the answer, the sacred geometry of chance, the hidden law of a probable outcome. The numbers lead a dance. I know that the spades are the swords of a soldier. I know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. He may play the jack of diamonds.
The coquette. According to the popular concept, coquettes are consummate teases, experts at arousing desire through a provocative appearance or an alluring attitude. But the real essence of coquettes is in fact their ability to trap people emotionally and to keep their victims in their clutches long after that first titillation of desire. This is the skill that puts them in the ranks of the most effective seducers. Their success may seem somewhat odd, since they are essentially cold and distant creatures. Should you ever get to know one well, you will sense his or her inner core of detachment and self-love. It may seem logical that once you become aware of this quality, you will see through the coquette's manipulations and lose interest. But, more often, we see the opposite. To understand the peculiar power of the coquette, you must first understand a critical property of love and desire. The more obviously you pursue a person, the more likely you are to chase them away. Too much attention can be interesting for a while, but it soon grows cloying and finally becomes claustrophobic and frightening. It signals weakness and neediness, an unseductive combination. How often we make this mistake, thinking our persistent presence will reassure. But coquettes have an inherent understanding of this particular dynamic. Masters of selective withdrawal, they hint at coldness, absenting themselves at times to keep their victim off balance, surprised, intrigued. Their withdrawals make them mysterious, and we build them up in our imaginations. Familiarity, on the other hand, undermines what we have built. A bout of distance engages the emotions further. Instead of making us angry, it makes us insecure. Perhaps they don't really like us. Perhaps we've lost their interest. Once our vanity is at stake, we succumb to the coquette just to prove we are still desirable. Remember, the essence of the coquette lies not in the tease and temptation, but in the subsequent step back, the emotional withdrawal.
Ooh, you know you living with a coquette. A victimized, a master victimhood mentality, manipulating coquette. Y'all know y'all got some of that going. Well, that was so deep. Is that what's happening to a lot of people who came out of situations, households that were like that? I tell people all the time, when you're interfacing with your partner, you're interfacing with their communication style that they modeled, with their attachment style that they modeled.
Yes.
And those aren't the only things that you're communicating with. You're communicating with everything they've been through. This is why Dr. Jashana Johnson said, you got nervous systems dating. Your nervous systems are attracted to each other. Talk to me about that.
Well, if I don't know what I am, I don't understand how I operate. Like, you can have a car and you might know if you push that button, it'll start. You know, if you turn that wheel, it'll move.
Right.
When that little light comes on, you'll go to the place where you put the liquid in the back of the car.
Right.
But you don't know anything about transmission and combustion, and you don't understand how it functions or why it even moves in the first place, what propulsion is.
Right.
It doesn't stop you from driving it.
No.
So here we are with these bodies and these lives. We know how to put grease on it and brush the teeth and move the hair, but we don't know what it is.
We don't
and
know
how
what's
it
under
operates.
the hood.
We don't know what's under the hood. We don't understand how the nervous system plays a role in our behavior. We don't understand how every time we feel that feeling in our throat, that we do that thing we do, and we've been in that habit and cycle forever. The coquette is a finessed.
Ooh, the finesse is
The
real.
finesse is real, but they have a certain skill set that makes them powerful. They're probably good looking.
Mm-hmm.
They can use that particular gift to control and manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
The pullback is cold. Somebody asked earlier, is that how pimps train?
Ooh, yeah.
Right? Like, let me give you a whole bunch on the front end and build trust with you.
Ooh.
And then make you think you're crazy.
Uh-huh.
Make you doubt yourself.
Love bomb on the top
On the
end,
top.
and then pull back like the tsunami wave.
Right. And then now you hooked. You addicted. I've given you some dopamine. I give you what gambling give you. I give you what chocolate cake give you. I give you what cocaine give you.
Ooh, that blue magic.
And you want some more, don't you?
Yeah.
The first one's free.
The first one is free. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on fire tonight. I don't know where you are in the world, but you should be here on KBLA Talk 1580. Let's get these callers in here. Mimi, Jacksonville, Florida. Get in here.
Hey, Zoe. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, I just want to say this show, I've been listening to you, watching you for almost a year, and this is absolutely the best show that you have ever done.
Wait, didn't you call Monday and say the same thing about Dr. Alan Berger? Because Berger was ridiculous too now. It's all good. What's your question, Mimi? Talk to us.
I have a comment and I have a question. First thing I want to say is, I almost forgot what I wanted to say. I'll just start with my question. Okay, no, here's my comment. I believe that we're all beautifully flawed, and I love living in the truth. I know when I say that, people say, I don't believe you, but I do, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's ugly. I just can't. I have to live in reality. I mean, especially when it comes to my relationships. As I get older, I have to live in reality. And my question for Dr. Delana is, earlier y'all were talking about is always mom's fault, basically. And I said, dads give us issues too. But she was talking about, you both were, the savior and the villain. And growing up, my family dynamics, I would say I definitely saw my parents as disciplinarians, so I saw the savior part, but I'm just really having difficulty grasping what she means by villain when it comes to, your parents.
That's a good question. I actually saw that in the chat, and so it looks like this. When you think of disciplinary, like, so I heard the language, I beat you because I love you. And so that's the only time I ever heard I love you, was when it was referred to beating, right? So oftentimes our parents, and I'm not exactly sure how it was in your family, but oftentimes in the black family, the parents were the authoritarians. So what they say went. They didn't always do, they didn't always have the behavior, but they would tell you, do as I say, not as I do. So you saw potentially some incongruence. They're telling you to do one thing and they doing another, right? They're telling you you need to be like this, but you look and you see that they're not like that at all. They're telling you you can't, maybe you see over drinking, maybe you see hurt and abuse. Maybe you see a lot of things, just like at the church. We're told all these things, be good, but I can't pull it off in my own life. Okay? And so oftentimes we grow up disillusions about this parenting thing, that it was supposed, you have to honor and respect them so you can go to heaven. So your parents were humans. They made their humanity, they made their mistakes along the way. And we don't need to blame anybody. We just need to understand that you are impacted by it. Look at your relationships and see how it's happening. Does that make sense?
So their faults were the victim aspects that I'm now living in my relationships, my life.
What you understand about love, you learned at your family. How is that working out for you? Are you effective in love? Are you effective in relationships? Are you able to be vulnerable? Are you able to follow? Can you be influenced? Can you be led?
Or and do you unidirectionally look at your partner as the one who isn't effective in relation? You good. That's the victimhood.
Yes.
I'm all right. I didn't do nothing wrong.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. So how are you effective in these relationships? That's the question that you have to really get honest with yourself about.
Well, what does effective really mean?
Are you able to communicate effectively? Are you able to be forgiven? Are you a safe place for your partners to grow, develop, become in front of you? That's what love is. It's unconditional. It doesn't mean that you don't experience anger or frustration or disappointment, but can you communicate it effectively?
Right. Emotional IQ, right? What's your emotional IQ? Do you have an emotional dictionary?
Do you know your own personal value? Are you looking for something to give it to you?
Wow, y'all are double teaming me, and I love it. That sounded so wrong.
No. Yeah, that came on. Wow. Okay, cool. And then
sounded so wrong.
What happened?
We inevitably
We having a
get
different
there.
conversation, Mimi. Don't call in here with that mess.
I hope that helps you,
so
Mimi.
wrong.
It's really
It
hard.
did.
It's
You
really
really
hard
helped me.
to stop your parents from being, your saviors and your gods. They are your first gods. So it's really hard to see the truth about the experience and the exchange.
Mimi, we love you. Thank you for the call. Jacksonville, Florida is in the building because of you. Let me just give you this piece. It was my relationship with my children that got me on the road to healing. Before then, I was a Tasmanian devil. And there's still some of that Tasmanian in me right now. But it was my relationship with them, the mirrored effect, right? And I started to understand something. And things started to come. I get into a fight on the basketball court. My oldest son is there. He's dying to play basketball, but he's not old enough to play with the men. I get into a fight. And then I recognize, oh my God, he's standing right there. He's watching me elbow this dude in the head. He's watching me knee this guy in the face, right? And then an epiphany. You got to undo what you did in front of him. So what I did was I gathered all the brothers after the fight was over, and they all circled around my son and me, and I apologized to each and every one of them, and we shook hands, and we hugged, and we forgave each other, because I needed him to see the opposite of the anger. And he started to understand, oh, okay, people get upset on the basketball court, and they lose their cool, whatever. I started to learn, hey, man, I got to break up with my old ways. I got some young eyes watching me, and they modeling everything I do. I had my daughter there. They were all just watching me play hoop. And every time I trip out in their presence, in my mind, I said, well, we got to undo that.
That's right.
We got to have a full circle experience so they don't just grow up with a one-dimensional experience. Oh, my dad was always angry. My dad was always popping off. They got a chance to see me give them the opposite of my failure.
Right.
That's what being a dad did for me. So I understood that modeling thing early. Talk to me.
Well, psychologically, children cannot resist the information that's being given to them up until age 12. So that's 12 years of just fully taking wholly immersed in everything they're experiencing. Let me tell you something. Lemon trees produce lemons.
Ooh. Keep going.
Listen.
Keep going.
There's nothing you can do about it. You grow from the garden. You grow from the soil in which planted you. You have to become the byproduct of the thing that you grew up with. You can't. There's nothing you can do about it. But, like we said earlier, we heard earlier, you're not responsible for what happened to you or in the order in which it happened. But we are responsible to wake up. To wake up to the truth that we are created. We have a power. The brain has the ability to rewrite programs. It's called neuroplasticity.
Yes.
We have the ability to unlearn and relearn. Are we going to be perfect? No. We have to live, we have to learn, and we have to practice.
Hallelujah. When we come forward, Battle Creek, Michigan, you know what's next.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
Need a fresh start? LADWP income qualified customers can get up to $15,000 tax-free to pay overdue water utility bills with the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program. Benefit amounts may vary and will not impact other benefits. Visit ladwp.com/cares and apply today. That's ladwp.com/cares.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
all of me without no thought of pride, then maybe you would know exactly all the things I feel. Not just a maybe, baby, I'm for real. 'Cause I've been wishing on the stars and hoping, just as it shoots across the sky, searching for the so-called answer.
Come on, man. When was the last time you heard this record? My playlist is my co-host. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. Don't let our music be better than our relationship. Don't let our playlist be better than our love. Gosh. The music be so beautiful. Dear lover. Dear love. It just be so beautiful, but the relationship be a mess.
A mess.
What in the Sam hell is going on? Haru Ali, get in here. Battle Creek, Michigan. Let's talk.
Peace and love to the family nations. Honors to our distinguished guests. Honors to Arabia and the Zoe and the God to have the smiling.
Yes, sir. You got to make it quick. You already know we up against it.
Absolutely. Your trauma, I always say your trauma may not be your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. So we're talking about, we said a caper, what was the term?
Coquette.
Coquette, not a croquette.
Coquette, yep.
But a
okay.
coquette.
No, not croquette, but a coquette. Absolutely. So you got a coquette. Let's look at it in the terms of a narcissist and a stripper. What's the difference between a narcissist and a stripper?
No, you tell me. This sounds like a Bob Hope joke. Come on.
Yeah. The difference is you pay to be rejected by one, and then you endure. In the long run, you still pay.
Yes.
Yeah. So listen, honor is stronger than love. I always say that honor is stronger than love, because in a relationship, I don't even have to like you. In the military, it's like loyal, duty, honor, all that stuff. It's like, no, I still want the best for you. I'm still going to give my life for you. So honor is strong. I don't even like to say the word love, but I don't even like to say that. Like, what did Tina Turner say? What's love? A secondhand emotion? What's love got to do with it? No, if I honor you, I will never betray you. So guess what? Besides all of this, y'all got AI, y'all got laws and trees and everything that's going.
I knew this was about to happen.
Peace and love. No. Peace and love to the family nations. Honor to the distinguished guests, Zoe and everybody. I'm out.
We love you, brother. Haru Ali, Battle Creek, Michigan. Listen, we start the conversations. I'm flawed, man. I've lied, but I'm not a liar. I've cheated, but I'm not a cheater. Right? I've manipulated, but I'm not a manipulator. I've done everything you can do wrong in a relationship. But one thing I learn is I learn. Yeah. I adapt, I change, I evolve. So many people want to stay the same way. I'm not about that. Listen, we started the conversation. You finished it. Up next, you already know, Jill Monroe is in the building. RSVP with Jill. We on fire tonight. She gonna keep it lit. I'll holler tomorrow.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is visiting Finland